Yeah, right.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hari Kumar, founder of Blissful Doctors Organization. Today in this platform, we are doing session on Swadhyaya, Blissful Book Blossoming by Ananya ji. She is Vice President of HDFC Bank. Hi Ananya ji.
Hello, thanks for having me here. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be kind of meet with like-minded people. See, whether it's 4 of us or 40 of us, we are here because we believe in certain ideologies. So that's what matters.
Yes, co-host Nadeem is there. He's a national level hockey player. My fitness associate. We have done so many workshops. Hi, welcome Nadeem.
Hi.
Wonderful.
It was great to be here. Yeah.
Wonderful. Now, Ananya ji, on the first day, you said about the 5 love languages in general. Today, we want to focus on the children, how we have to communicate and how to understand these 5 languages so that the effective parenting can happen. The parenting is very, very essential. During parenting, we'll also become like a child. In spiritual terminology, the greatest attainment is to become like a child. If you won't become like a child, you will go into the old age. During the old age, you will physically become like a child. That is a nature's compulsion. During parenting also, we'll recapitulate our childhood and how our parents brought and they brought up, we can recapitulate. Enlightenment is nothing but recapturing, remembering, revitalizing, rejuvenating our own self. So during this 5 love languages of our children, please enlighten all our audience. This is all nothing but remembrance, recapturing. So let us listen from Ananya ji. She wonderfully described about the 5 love languages in the first session. This is the second session. I'm very pleased to invite and to be with our Ananya ji. Yes, madam. The platform is yours.
Thank you so much. So, now as adults, supposing I've read the book now, I have not read it before. But, sometimes even with adults, we feel that our mother loved us more or our father loved us more than the mother. All of us have this thing, Or maybe both of us loved us, but they could have loved us a little more. Sometimes adults also feel this way. So when we go through this book and this enlightenment happens, we actually get to understand that our parents loved us. It is just that maybe because they were not conveying their love for us in our love language, we were not getting communicated of the love properly. They were communicating their love in their own love language. They were not communicating their love in my primary love language because they were not aware. Sometimes ignorance is what leaves a communication half-hearted. So a communication is only full when somebody who communicates gets whatever he's communicating, that gets rightly communicated to the recipient. If that is not happening, definitely it is an unfulfilled or a midway communication. And there is a communication gap which arises from it. So, for example, I elaborated regarding physical touch. Physical touch is a way of communicating love to a person, love to a child. Today's discussion is on child, so I'll focus only on child. So I've just jotted down a few points. When you greet or say goodbye to your child, when we greet, when we come back from office or we come back from work, we greet a child, hi, how are you? And we gather them into your arms and hold them. Kneel down for smaller children, because sometimes, if it's a small children, little one, you need to kneel down. Let your child hold or cuddle a soft item such as a blanket to soothe them. If your child is under stress, gently stroke their head to relax them. Ask often if your child would be like to held or cuddled. You can just you can ask that, beta, do you want a hug from me? Do you want to be loved? So it's like, the child gets a feeling of assurance. Child grows up to be a confident adult. There's no lack. Because when we as children, when we are growing up, if we function from a space of lack meaning absence of something, we grow up to be not so confident individuals. We lack that confidence as we grow up. Hug and kiss your child every day when they leave and return from school, as well as when you tuck them in at night for younger children. Stroke your child's hair or rub their back when they tell you about a difficult day or you are upset. Shortly after disciplining your child, in the sense that, we have somehow scolded them for something wrong that they have done. After we have scolded them, take a moment to give them a hug to show them that the discipline was based on the consequences of their wrongful action only. The discipline, the scolding was not for the child. We don't hate you, we hate what you have done. Your action is something which we are reprimanding, not you. We love you any case. So our love for the child is unconditional. But definitely the child, every child, time and again, they will need correction, they will need scolding. So just after scolding, hug them to show them that the discipline was based only on the consequences of their wrongful action. And you still love your cherished child. Snuggle closely together on the couch when watching television together. These are some of the things that a parent can do with children to convey love through the language of physical touch.
Wonderful.
Give each other a high five or similar congratulations. Supposing this child has got an A in one of the subjects, do a high five. That's a physical touch. Purchase a gift for your child that is touch oriented, such as a soft pillow or a blanket or a sweater. Have tickle fights with your children, but be careful not to allow it to become a stressful activity. Play games or sports together that require physical touch. Sometimes they will ride on your back, or you can do race the child on your legs. These are for smaller children. When it's a father and a son, they can sometimes do a wrestling fight. They can do something of a boxing fight. So that's like a physical touch. So that even if you're playing, that physical touch is conveying love to the child, because his love language, primary love language, is physical touch. See, these are the few things that we can do only after the identification. So the identification part I've already spoken in the first session. How to identify which is the primary love language for a particular person. Now, after you have identified, today is the second part. How do you communicate? After you have identified, now what is your action? What do you do about it? You have identified. Okay, my child's love language is physical touch. So these are the points that I'm discussing that you need to do to convey your love in a very spontaneous yet very gentle manner. It's nothing that you need to there's something like an exam or something you need to do. You just need to bring in these practices very nicely into your daily routines. With younger children, read stories together with the child on your lap. So that is giving the physical touch. Sing action songs together. This I used to do a lot with both my kids. That require touching and action, such as clapping hands, spinning, or jumping. When your child is sick or he's hurt, spend extra time holding them and providing comfort. Occasionally yell out a group hug for your entire family. Give kisses even if your child thinks he or she is too old for it. Sometimes, boys, when they grow up to become like 13, 14, many a times it is seen that the mother is withdrawing herself from giving the child a hug, or you cannot withdraw yourself completely. If your child's primary love language is physical touch, you still need to, even if he is showing some discomfort, don't do it in front of friends. because children of age of 14, 15, they become shy to be hugged and kissed by parents in front of friends. But when you're one-on-one, you still need to convey that love. You still need to give a hug, you still need to give a kiss, and you still need to do something. If not a kiss, if your child is really and seriously refusing it, do something else to convey some physical touch, physical contact to convey the love to the child, because his primary love language is physical touch. So these are the points which I thought, actions which we could take with a child, because Dr. Hari had told me that today's session would primarily be on what is the action that a parent can take after identifying the child's love language.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Now, if a child's love language, I come to the second one, or do anybody? It's only Mr. Nadeem.
Yes,
and
if at all any doubts, or you can.
Yeah, you wrote a
share.
book on these 5 languages? Ananya?
Yes, I had shown the book and had discussed the book in detail in my first session.
Okay.
It's called The 5 Love Languages.
Okay.
Here,
Okay.
Dr. Sudhavani, she's a dermatologist, she's also with us. She is the founder and the managing director of Sri Clinic, clinic, both at Amirpet as well as Banjara Hills. And one more doctor is also there, Dr. Subbaya. He's from Bangalore, and he is ready to start one holistic university. A big center at Bangalore, and Kadapa is there, and he joined with the blissful Dr. Sir to start a wonderful center where we can grow organic one, and we can become interdependent. The faculties all are going to come in near future. Because of COVID, we are unable to. Yes, I welcome all the people. Sudhavani madam, I'll introduce you. Just yes, hi to you.
Hi,
Madam
hello.
Ananya ji. She is our Kurnool Medical College student. We are all products of Kurnool.
Kurnool Medical
Great
College, right.
Kurnool. Wonderful. Very happy. Even though you are busy at clinic, you joined us. And Ananya ji so far said about the touch aspect.
Yes, touch. So it's a very wonderful program. I'm just listening in between. It's very good. Nice.
What is the love language with which you communicate with your children more?
So whatever I'll communicate in a softer way, the kids. First, we need to know whatever we want to communicate them. We should say in a softer way, because if we say in a louder way or harsh way, initially they may feel in a negative way. So very soft way I'll communicate, suppose 2 times, 3 times, then the tone changes a little harsh. But meanwhile, first we need to tell them why we are telling, reasoning. So why we are telling this, why, what restrictions we are giving, or all those things first we will communicate them. Then if you tell, they will definitely accept. So Dr. Ananya told about the touch, which is very, very important. Even not only in the small kids, but even the child is growing around, especially 8 years, 9 years. Even I feel at younger age, teenage also, the touch plays very, very important role.
Yeah, you rightly said.
In NLP, they say, touch is one of the important part of communication. Touch, feel, and so.
Yeah. In upbringing of the female kid, the role of touch plays a major role, especially to differentiate between the bad touch and good touch. Nowadays, people are socializing. They're accustomed for socializing. But if you know, you can also sense how other person is communicating with the touch. So parents are the best one to give first impression. My plastic surgeon HOD used to say, never take second chance to create first impression. The first impression is created by the parents. So all this way of communication, all these love languages, if they are better nurtured, so they can simply, they can work on it, creatively work on it. If those such seeds are not well established, they will have confusion, chaos. They will think that world is not safe place. Everyone ditches me. Everyone, they won't understand me. This usually prevails in the when they grow and marry. They say to the spouse, no, you can't understand throughout your life. You always criticizes me. Always you condemn me. So in this way, and they don't know how to respond for the good touch too. These are all the seeds were sown during their upbringing. So yes, Ananya ji, please continue.
Your voice is not audible.
Or,
Ananya ji.
yes, please, Ananya ji, unmute yourself.
I think mute. You are in mute.
Ananya ji, mute. Mic. Just check. If red cross is there, unmute. First one. Okay, meanwhile. Yes, stop video is there, audio.
Yeah. Now unmute. Can you talk now?
Yes. Carry on. Continue. No. Unmute.
No. It's not coming. Can you just go out and come back again? Hello?
Over here, it's not mute.
Yes.
Now it's
correct.
So, as you rightly said, today's child is tomorrow's adult. So if we have issues while we are growing up, if we don't feel loved enough, we will not listen. We will be a rebellious child. So as Dr. Sudhavani just now said, you need to be soft and gentle with the child. It's about, of course, we need to be gentle with the child, but then before that, before everything, the foundation for life is love. When a child is born, if you see an infant, even if a snake goes by, the infant will catch hold of the snake and pick it up. Because when an infant is born, he knows only to love. He doesn't know how to hate or how to fear. So those are codings which we are learning later on. But a pure, gentle infant, like say about till 1 year old, he knows nothing. He knows only to love, because that's the basis of life. Love is the only foundation and the only foundation of life. So when a child feels loved, our half of our parenting work is done. Because when a child feels loved, he will listen to the parents. He will understand the parents' perspective. He will want to do something for the parents. But if the child is feeling unloved, if his love tank is not full, see, we all have a love tank.
Yes.
So if the love tank is not full, we will have so many knots and so many issues in our own mind, in our own growing up years, that we will develop those issues and we will manifest them as adults also, because today's children is tomorrow's adult. Today I'm an adult, but time back I was also a child. I too had issues. My parents also could have gone wrong in some issues while dealing with me. So the more we become aware, so I feel a conscious, aware living, but at the same time being very spontaneous, actually can bring in a lot of harmony and love around us. That's basically what I live by. I don't follow too many things. I feel a conscious, aware living along with spontaneity. We shouldn't be too much of pretense, or we shouldn't rehearse too much. Everything should be just a flow, because life is, end of the day, it's just a flow. So if we are also in tune with life and we remain as a flow, life seems so nice, so easy, so beautiful. But if we are always trying to do something, okay, this, okay, that, trying to impress somebody, because when we are trying to impress somebody, We are thinking of that person, what he or she will like, not what I will like.
Correct.
So everything, end of the day, starts with self-love. We have to accept ourselves as we are. And wherever we think that some things of myself, they are not so good, they're a little ugly, we should always try to keep on improving ourselves. But at the same time, we should accept our ugliness as well. Because only when we accept our ugliness can we work on those ugly parts to change them. Because if we don't accept it, acceptance is the first part. First, we accept it, that yes, I have a problem. I'm a little perfectionist. Perfectionist people are never very happy. They're always looking for things, which could be better. So perfectionist is not good. Rather, be aware, do your best. If we have done our best, don't you think we are so blissful? When we do our best and the outcome is not so good, what do we feel? We feel let down. But within ourselves, we know that we have done our best. But when we don't do our best, are we happy souls? We're not happy souls. Because we know that I've not done my best. I've ditched my colleague, or I've ditched my boss, or I've not paid attention in class when the teacher was saying something. It holds true at every level. Like for example, you're a sports person. So if you know that you've not put in your best, you've not really, practiced well, or your fitness level is not really up to the mark, you will not be at peace. It's not about others pointing it out.
Yeah.
So, so do I kind of take through the other examples of the different love languages, or you want a generalistic discussion on the love languages?
Yeah, just few more examples. A few more. See, we have started a this thing called loveism. Loveism.
Loveism. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Pavanism.
That's nice.
Like Gandhiism.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nice.
So very good, Ananya ji. What you can do is you describe about the various modes of love languages, and let us do like in earlier session.
Okay, so I'll cover a bit of the earlier session.
Yes.
So see, there are 5 different love languages of any and every individual walking on this earth. There is no other love language and no less love language. All the love languages are important to communicate. Language is what? Language is for communication, right? So these are love languages to communicate love. Now, there are 5 love languages broadly. We need to identify who the recipient. Like, I want to convey my love for my mother. So I first need to identify what is her love language, primary love language. If I know what is her primary love language, what will I do? Generally, everybody, what people do is they convey in their own love language.
Yeah.
So I had given an example. It's always easier to give personal examples. So I do that a lot. I don't know whether that's correct or not. So my husband's love language is spending quality time. But my love language is words of affirmation. Words of affirmation is what? Receiving compliments.
Yeah.
When you see good things.
Yes.
Genuinely good things. Not like just to kind of make a person happy. Not fake things.
Yes.
So that is my love language, which he is not conveying his love in. So what my soul feels, my love tank remains half full. So I'm never completely feeling loved. So when I am not feeling completely loved, do you think I'll be able to give 100% to the relationship? I'll not be able to give. And it's not only for the spouse, it's true with their children, with your parents, with your co-workers. Co-workers, of course, we cannot, sit and identify each one's love language. But then, broadly, we should convey our care and concern in all the love languages. So the love languages broadly are physical touch, number 1. Second is words of affirmation. Third is quality time. Fourth is gift. Fifth is acts of service. So I already explained a few things. Once, how to identify, I had explained it. So there are a few things which you could just take a quiz and understand. When you observe your child, if it's your child, it's easier because you're observing the child. If it's a little distant relationship like a friend or a sister or your mother whom you're not staying with anymore because you're married off or you're staying in separate houses, you can still take a quiz. It's a very constructive, detailed, very scientific way of finding out what the other person's love language is. And then remember, once we identify the love language, the second part is to communicate our love from henceforth in that love language. So we had done a quiz last session in which I had explained how to identify the love language. The second part was scheduled for today, which is how do you communicate after you've identified. Now you need to do something, right? So you know that your wife's love language is this. So you will do those things in which your wife will feel loved. Her love tank will be full. When her love tank becomes full, her love will be overflowing. So it's like the cup being overflowing, when it's full, it will overflow. And once it will overflow, it will come back to you only. That's the beauty of a relationship, any relationship. So in words of affirmation for children, we could be recording ourselves on audio or video to tell your children how much you love them. Take a picture or other creation your child has created and frame it in a special frame because we are admiring his creation. The child has done something and we just kind of put it up. So we are admiring it. We are complimenting him. It's not we are saying, oh, wow, you've done it well and then forgetting it. When we are doing something special with that thing, whatever the child has done, we are communicating our compliments to the child. So, get a picture or a keychain and put photos on your children in it. The next thing that I had written was leave a note in his tiffin box or in his bathroom, that simple daddy loves you or mommy loves you. Those kind of things play a lot of, they give a lot of positive vibrations to the child's mind. Today we are speaking only of children, so this is child saying, make it a habit to say I love you. People who love to hear words of affirmation, for them, hearing I love you is very important. Some people say, what's the use, what's the requirement of saying I love you? You should be knowing. Don't you realize I love you so much? I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. But that's not enough. You need to see if a person, the recipient's love language is words of affirmation, you need to hear that from your child. You need to hear that from your parents. You need to hear that from your spouse. Even if you know it, it's always an reassurance when you're hearing those words that yes, I love you. Or you mean the world to me. Or you really look good. Or you really cooked well. I really appreciate the time and effort you take in bringing up the kids. Or I really appreciate the way you maintain the house and still work. Or I really appreciate how you maintain the social life as well as your work life and still care about the family so much. All these little things you want to hear if your love language is words of affirmation. This is the easiest for me to explain because my own love language is words of affirmation. So I'll go on to the third one. Anything anybody wants to ask? Dr.
No, you have nicely explained. So
yeah,
I'll ask the question at the end.
Okay.
Wonderful narration of the love languages. And you please continue, madam. And at the end, we'll have a beautiful meditative session wherein we'll try to find out what is the major or first our love language in our love tank.
Yes.
And later will the way of how we are communicating with our own self, how we are expressing love with our own self. So all these things we are going to do. And at the end, how we are communicating with children also will have a guided imagery technique. So it will help you to understand how you are communicating with your inner child, as well as what are all the various ways you communicated with your present children, and how best you can improve. Life is nothing but empowering yourself. Life is nothing but refilling all the gaps which you have in your life. Life is nothing but not only learning, but also unlearning, so
Yes.
that you will become a more
Unlearning is more
learned man.
important. Unlearning is the first step and then learning.
Yes. So all these things will have a very beautiful session. So after listening to Ananya ji. Yes, Ananya ji, please go ahead.
So quality time, I'll just give you a few examples. I've written a lot of them, but I'll just give you a few examples. Instead of spending time with your child after your errands, like after your work, include your child in your daily activities, such as laundry, grocery shopping, or washing dishes. Though it may take longer time, the time together will really make up for this inconvenience, because the child's love language is what? Spending quality time. He feels loved only when the parent has spent a lot of time with him. So his primary love language is quality time. And hence, if you've identified that your child's love language is spending quality time, you need to take care and do certain things. These are just coming to my mind. Of course, you could have a few more, because this is nothing things to make the child feel loved, and the love tank is full. You have to ensure that as parents. When the child is trying to tell you something, sometimes we are so busy doing something, we will not even look at the child. Stop what you're doing to make eye contact with the child, as they want to tell you something important. Find silly things to laugh about and laugh a lot about them. When a younger child is showing you something, crouch down to their eye level or gather them into your arms. Have your child tell you of places they would like to go and why. I exactly know where all my little one wants to go once he grows up and why he wants to go there. Then surprise them occasionally by letting them choose one place or arranging it from them ahead of time. Turn your television show to watch your child's favorite show with them. This is a very important thing, and which is a very difficult thing to do. Trust me, I find it very difficult. Supposing I'm really watching something which I love to watch, and the child wants to come and spend some time with me, switch off your channel, switch off your serial or movie, and watch something that will interest the child more. That's speaking a lot of love to the child. The child unconsciously feels loved. Go to the toy store and play with some fun toys with no intention of buying them. Just spending time, just going through books or toys with the child. It really helps a lot of bonding. Ask very specific questions about your child's day that do not have a yes or no answer. We usually ask, so how was your day? And the child will say, it was good, it was great, it was bad. Was your day good? Yes. So there it ends. Instead of that, we should ask more, more specific questions like, so how was the period? Was ma'am good with you today? So what did your friends say? What did, you can take a few friends' names and ask, so what did this one do? What did that one do? So we are involving him in a conversation. Instead of just asking that, how was your day good? We are involving the child into a conversation. Then taking your younger children to a park or playground, spend the time actually playing with them instead of watching them from the park bench. I have really done this. I don't know how far my children will remember. Every single day I used to take my children to the park and play with them. Physically, I used to run around with them. And you know what was happening is my oldest son, even at birthday parties, he didn't want to play with kids alone. He wanted the mother also. He wanted me also to play with him because he was so used to seeing me play with him. So gradually I withdrew a little because he was not wanting to play with others without me. So everything has its own plus and minus. Instead of television, focus on art such as singing together or finger painting. We used to do a lot of dancing together. We used to put the music system on, and me and both the kids, we used to dance a lot. So that's like spending some quality time, listening to some good music, which all three of us, I have two kids, which all three of us like. If you have one child, whatever music he likes and whatever music you like, you don't pretend, kind of drawing some sort of a median in your child and your relationship. Your child with tickets or a trip to a special place, a camping trip, basketball game, or trip to the mall can build lifelong memories, and add pictures of the event to further strengthen the surprise. If possible, take your child to your workplace one day. My mom used to do this with me a lot. Introduce your child to your co-workers and take your child to lunch with you. Create traditions with your child of a certain place you regularly go, perhaps to eat ice cream or to play at a particular park. Set aside a special place in the house where you go to play. A walk-in closet can serve as a castle. Have a camp out together. Focus family vacations to include significant time being together versus focused on divided parent and child activities. Occasionally take family walks or bike rides together. Seek opportunities to spend time together that also include exercise. Share more meals together as a family. Many families eat 2 meals together. And as children grow, they are growing up, and they really, have odd times when they're eating, and they try eating time doesn't coincide. So the parent really needs to sometimes, at least, if not regularly, sometimes at least need to ensure that the entire family is eating. Make dinners of talk about the day. Care can also strengthen this time. Spend a few extra minutes putting your child to bed at night. Bedtime stories, talking about the day, praying together at night can each be part of your everyday pattern, which I have actually followed. And trust me, I did all of this without reading the book. I used to do this. Now, of course, it's not so regular because my kids are grown up. They are now in their adolescence, and they don't have, with this COVID thing on, they don't have a specific time. But parent process. Once a parent, always a parent. Then even if I become 80 and my son becomes 50, I will still be a parent. So I think any relationship, we should not take it for granted. We should continuously keep working at a very cautious level. It always improves and it always holds the relationship in its place. Once we take it for granted, it just becomes mundane. There's no that spark is gone. Most of the couples say that the spark is gone from their relationship. Trust me, it is because at least one of the spouses, and sometimes both the spouses, they are not working on. Both the husband and wife, they are not working on it. Or at least one of them is not working on it. One is trying, but the other is not. So if you don't value something, it's so simple. If you don't value something, how can it stay with you? Right? If you don't value a relationship also, we will stop working on it and it will not stay the way it used to be.
See, we are connected like a roots, right? Even when we become old, mother-kid relationship or any relationship. So we have to focus, we have to pamper, we have to nurture that relationship.
Absolutely. Nurturing is the word. It's not pamper, it's nurturing. It should
Yeah.
come from within.
Yes.
You should feel that there are things that we need to do for this relationship, if it's at all important to you. If it's not important to you, most India doesn't have too many divorces as our Western countries. It's not because couples are very happy. It's because of the societal norms.
Yes.
Are together, and I feel why two people have to be together when they're unhappy.
They're compromising.
They're compromising. That life is so beautiful. You should feel beauty every moment of your life. You feel your relationships, in relationship with your boss, your co-workers, your subordinates, back home with your spouse, your kids, with your mother-in-law, with your father-in-law, with your parents. If you're not happy, it's a very holistic picture.
See, it will
If
happen
you're
when
not happy,
it will happen when you are in a flow state, when you are not in stressful mode. So when you are
it
in,
can only happen with two things.
yeah,
If we are having a aware living, and second, if we are spontaneous. If either of these is missing, we will become robots,
Yeah, machine.
just
Yeah.
kind of doing activities and passing the day. Getting up in the morning, getting ready for office, going to work, working, coming back, getting down for dinner, going to bed, probably watching a web series, and then just sleep off.
Yeah.
What a horrible life that can be. But then, if you don't really work on it, if you're not wanting to work on it, and if you're not willing to really kind of go that extra mile, sometimes, one spouse does it. Last session, somebody asked me, so what happens if I am trying to do and my spouse is not wanting? That's a very common phenomenon in any married life.
So
When
this will
that is happening,
this will happen.
you need to talk it out with your spouse. And
This,
even then, if the spouse really kind of fails to understand or fails to see any logic in it, then it's your call what you need to do and what you want to do in it.
so this can happen when you accept the way it is, accept the way it is not. Number one. Number two, when you are stressful, you're not able to do many things. A lot of people are running. They don't know why they are running. They're running for money. They're running for, thinking that this is what we want. But just slightly stop and observe, be a meditator, do yoga. So then you can able to understand how beautiful life is.
And you don't see the beauty in that.
Wonderful.
For a child who gives love language is gifts, keep a small collection of inexpensive gifts packed away for your child. Give them one each at a time, then you send them. Select gifts that fit the interest of the child. Carry snacks or small candies you can give out at a street when away from home. One of the primary love language is, I used to actually keep a lot of gifts and we used to love to receive gifts, no matter what they are. Not too concerned about what the gift is, but more concerned about getting it. So make it special mean your child's value.
Your voice is not clear. Yeah, now
You can.
now it's
So it's not only about the substance of the gift, but also how it is presented to the recipient, in this case, a child. So if your child's primary love language is identified as gifting, try to gift him on and off for every other occasion, because he would expect that and he would become really happy. And give the gift to him nicely wrapped, presented in a nice manner. Keep a bag of small, inexpensive gifts. Give your child a song, either one of you make up or you kind of, like I used to sing. I mean, nowadays it's not so often, but I used to sing a particular song while putting them to bed, both the kids. So that's like it's like a gift, and it's like spending a lot of quality time with your kids. Instead of spending money on a larger gift for a birthday, host a birthday party at a special event location. Because, people who love gifts, they like gifts like that. Consider a gift that lasts, such as a tree you can plant together or a board game you can play together. For younger children, find nature gifts. Like, even if you see like small children, 4-5 years old, they get very happy even if you give them certain pebbles. You just need to pick up pebbles and, give it to them. They're happy with it. So, yeah, these are the few examples that one could do when a child's love language is gifting. So acts of service, and this thing remains, which maybe we could do it. Acts of service is the only one remaining. So a child whose love language is acts of service, sit down and help your child do his homework. So what does the child feel? That my mom or my dad is actually giving me an act of service, and I'm so loved. I'm so, the child feels on the seventh heaven. He feels loved, he feels special, he feels adored. Instead of just telling your younger children to go to bed, pick them up and gently carry them and tuck them in your blankets. Occasionally wake up half hour earlier to kind of be with your child. Set up your child's favorite toys while they are taking a nap, so they can immediately get up from their nap and start playing with them. So the child feels that, my mom or dad has done something for me. Help your child practice for their sports team, such as pitch and catch for baseball or shooting free throws for children. Order in a favorite snack or take them to a restaurant when your child is really having a very bad day. Bad day in terms of maybe had a fight at school with a friend, or was scolded by a teacher, or was reprimanded by somebody. So when a child is really low and feeling down, take, just kind of trying to make them feel special, do something which they will feel, it will help them come out of that low feeling. In this case, just kind of ordering in a snack also helps, because he or she feels that mom is, doing something as an act of service for me. He will not know it. These terminologies are not known to the child, act of service. But a person who is identified, a child who is identified as the primary language of acts of service, he will automatically start feeling loved. Yeah, so with that, I think I've given few examples in each love language. And with that, I think I would like to...
analogy share cheyadaniki. Yes, very good. You described about all the 5 love languages. Now, let us experience and find out what love language usually we communicate, and how to touch our inner child so that we can be a good parent. So parenting is given utmost important because we love our kith and kin. We love our own near intimate people. So while doing so, you can love yourself. You can understand your love quotient. So life is nothing but seeing yourself, understanding yourself. So let us do, and hold a pillow which is nearby to you, and close your eyes. Connect with your breath. Ananya ji energy is there with us. Already she has given wonderful wisdom to us. Child within. We are holding our own child within. As you are coming to it, you are feeling, you are understanding, you are knowing inner child in your heart. Be with the breath. Will do. Let us experience whatever Ananya ji said. As you are breathing, you are connecting to your heart, which is love tank. As you are breathing, your love tank, you are accessing. The in breaths, soft, easy, tender, peaceful breath, helping you to connect your love tank spontaneously. You are getting the feeling, which is your major love language. Touch, spending time with yourself, quality time, gifting, ordinary affirmations, or act of service. Intuitively, you are feeling layer by layer as you are unveiling your love tank. Intuitively, you can feel, sense, understand, and touch your major love language. Be with it, own it, acknowledge it. As you're doing so, that is way to the remaining love languages, which are already dormant in you, taking second, third, fifth positions. Feel it. So much of love is flowing as you are exploring your love tank. The fountain of love is flowing. You can feel it as you are exploring. Yes, embrace all your love languages in the core of your love tank. Feel yourself complete, total, holistic. Let's gradually go much deeper. Hold the pillow. Now you are holding all the love languages with you for better communication. You are owning it. As you're breathing, you are becoming much lighter, much vibrant, much creative, much conscious, much aware. Be with yourself. Now, your heart is guiding you to stand in all with multiple doors around. One door is attracting you to feel your touch, love language. Go towards the door. 1, Yes, feel the color of the door. So much of love you are experiencing to enter through the door by the count of 5, 3. Once you open the door, you can feel the awakening, unleashing, experiencing the full-fledged touch communication. 4. Yes, you have opened the door full of brightness. Feel that light of wisdom associated with touch, language of love. As you are breathing, this dimension, you feel so much of touch. Communication. Hold the pillow once again. Now you are holding the touch love language, which is filling every cell of you, every part of you, every aspect, domain of you. Feel it. Be there. Now you can touch not only the best part of you, but also the neglected part of you. As you are doing so, your inner child is completely experiencing the touch way of expressing, experiencing the love language, touch. Be with it. You can feel your parents cuddling you, pampering you, feeding you, caring you in your childhood. You're totally given the touch. Feel it. With this fulfillment, go towards one more door. It is attracting to you to experience the auditory, verbal affirmations. Language 3, 4, you're full of light. You are in love language. Hold the pillow tight. You are experiencing this light. You are recapitulating all the positive affirmations heard from your parents, teachers. Within no time, you are experiencing all the positive, proactive, empowering statements, affirmations. And go ahead. One love language, experience it. Now, no description is required. You are connecting to the core, going much deeper. How the quality time you are given how gifting is done, how act of service you experienced. Simultaneously, you are experiencing. Feel that energy, feel that support, feel that care. Yes, with all this fulfillment of all the domains, you are coming very freshly from one door. You have first-hand experience, total experience of all this love language. See yourself. You are an amalgamation, master of all these 5 love languages. Wherever you are able to communicate with all these love languages in your family, workplace, society, even with the Creator. Be in that state. While embrace your pillow, bless it. It is you, adult self. Bless yourself from the state of fulfillment. Be with your breath. Breath is bringing all this wisdom, understanding, energy, essence into every cell of you, every part of you. You are healed, empowered, vibrant, peaceful, creative, awakened, aware, conscious. From head to toe, feel your body, your smooth flowing breath with wonderful, peaceful state of yourself. Slowly keep palms over your eyes and slowly open your eyes with smiling face. Yeah, high five to everyone. Give high five to, okay, touch yourself, touch all the people, okay, especially during this COVID time. Thank you, Ananya ji. Very nice. So nice of you. And how was the session? Nadeem.
Yeah, it was.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
Usha Giri also joined. Yes.
Yeah, it
How was
was
the session?
yeah, it was very nice. Again, understanding about the love languages, how we can communicate with kids, parents, spouse. So, where is Ananya ji? Yes. She's there?
Yeah. Usha Giri, she facilitated the first session, Swadhyaya session. Thank you. Usha Giri ji, your message in 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Hari Kumar and Ananya ji. And I'm really very happy to know about the love signs and the knowledge which Ananya ji is giving. And your practical session, yes, it's awesome. Last week also I had that impact on me while doing this meditative process. And thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. And we are signing off.
Yeah,
Yes, Nadeem, anything you want
Yeah.
to say?
Nothing. It was a nice session. Keep doing these kind of sessions.
Yeah, we'll meet on Sunday
Sure.
with one more book.